Hello and welcome back to my podcast. It's been a while. Sorry, I didn't mean it to be such a big gap. I have just got caught up with life and stuff. I was launching my own crochet kit. That's taken quite a bit of time and I've just been caught up in other projects, and before I know it, it's the end of the week and I didn't podcast again. So we'll just start from here. Bear in mind though, it may look like I have a lot of stuff, but it's not my usual 2 gaps between podcasts. So if you just tuned in again and you think this is 2 weeks since the last one, it's maybe about 5 weeks, okay? Last week I posted a short video about the kits. I'm going to show you those in a minute. And also the puppy is on that as well. I'm probably not going to have him in this episode, so if you need your puppy update, he clambers all over me in that little video that I put up a week ago, so you could catch that. So 3 finished items, multiple whips. I can't even count them here, they're all tucked away. I'm going to start with the finished things though, right? So I will start with my Lazy Days shorty socks. I am really happy with these. This is my annual crochet along. It is a shorty sock, as you can see, and it is crocheted, as you can possibly see from the scale, in double knitting weight yarn. It is a 75-25% mix. It's from Sophie at the Wool Shed. Sophie has dyed this for me based on the colours. I'm going to have to pull this carefully out from under here. Based on the colours of Katie's illustration. Now I went through all this in quite a bit of detail in that it was actually an Instagram live that I repurposed for YouTube. So all the details about the kits in that video. So I will show you very quickly though. The yarn, so in your kit there is yarn, a lovely skein, there is a postcard with another drawing from Katie, there is a cute little tin from So Me, and I grabbed stitch markers. There are stitch markers and they come in a lovely piece of card, but this one has fallen off the card. It's misbehaving, and there is a little bumblebee as well. So there are 2 stitch markers. And all that comes in your kit. These are available, I was going to say exclusively on my website. They are almost exclusive on my website. They are also in a local gift shop in town called Haim. A lovely little shop with beautiful range of local artists and designers' work. And I have got kits available in there. So if you are local, you can go straight to Haim and pick up your kit. So the CAL has started. It's going to run to the end of August, and I've got a lovely setup over on Instagram. There's a chat group there where you can ask questions and share photos. Just a bit of friendship and community building as well, which I love about a CAL. It's always nice to make new friends. And this year I did something completely different, and I launched the CAL with a Zoom call, and that was great. It was on Friday night past, and it was lovely to see. There were a few people I had spoken to either in person or at events, and there were some people who I was speaking to for the first time on Zoom. So that was just a lovely way to kick off the CAL, and we all enjoyed it so much we're going to do it again next Friday. So it's not too late to join my crochet along. You can either just buy the pattern, which is on Ravelry, or on my website. I'll pop all the links, will be in the description below, by the way. You can buy a pattern and bag bundle where you'll get a paper copy of the pattern and the bag I showed you, but with nothing in it. So just the project bag and the paper pattern. You'll get a PDF of the pattern as well. And what else was I going to say? Or you can go full out and treat yourself to a kit. So 3 ways you can join in. And yeah, just crochet some socks together. Most of the people who have started have made a good start. Some of them have even managed to crochet up a whole pair of socks already, which is really lovely to see. So do come join my CAL. It's a lovely project for the summer, and it's just a really nice community feel to it as well, which I love. So that is finished object number 1. I am going to jump to a bit of knitting. This is Oh, it kind of goes with my outfit. This is finished object number 2, a pair of knitted socks. Now, if you have been following along on my podcast, you'll know that this is a design which I have designed myself. This is my very first knitting design. These are cuff down socks with a twisted rib around here. We have the leg with a garter stitch ridge on it, which continues down, if I hold just one of these, continues down the upper foot, just on the upper foot. Lower foot is smooth. It has a traditional heel flap and gusset, and it's finished with a wedge toe. So this is written up almost. I have to work out the tension and then just double check my, I can't remember if I've written it for 4 or 5 sizes. I think it's just 4. And I'll just need to slot in the appropriate sizing. But it is pretty much finished. My mum has kindly done a test knit for me to go over it before I send it to further test knitters. I know a couple of you are waiting for that pattern. I haven't forgotten about you, Tammy and Fiona. I know you're waiting for it, and if anyone else fancies testing a pair of knitted socks for me, then reach out, just add a comment to the podcast here, or you can email me, crochet@martamitchelldesigns.com, if you're interested in that. I would say it's, if you've knitted a pair of socks before, you'll manage it no problem. I've kind of written the pattern for someone who has knitted socks before, so there's not that I've missed details out, but I haven't gone into any depth, basically because I'm mostly a crochet designer, so I am assuming that you know, for example, how to create ribbing, so I haven't gone into detail about how to do that. And the heel flap, I'm assuming, even though the instructions are there, okay, I mean, it sounds like I've just skipped huge parts of the pattern. The instructions are there, I just don't go into great detail. I'm assuming that you have turned a heel before. And if not, I have popped links as well. So if you are brand new to socks, you should manage, because I've popped not my own links, but links to other people's video tutorials if that's what you need. So these are crocheted up in yarn by My Mama Knits, which I don't think I have with me. No. It is a Glasgow based yarn dyer, and I bought the yarn in Woolly Brew in Pittenweem, and I really like it. I love the colours. I think they suit this pattern quite well. It's a pretty subtle pattern. So, you know, it's not like fancy lace that's got all these speckles lost in it, and I think the 2 colours work quite well together as well. I think that's all I have to say on these. These are a UK 9, and they are for my sister's partner, Matt. He asked for some socks for Christmas, and actually he had on his mind that I would knit him some socks for Christmas, and I certainly would have if he'd asked. I definitely would have. I wasn't a mind reader, so I said that I would knit some for his birthday, and this is the pair. The only thing is his birthday was in March, and because I have ended up designing the pair, I'm going to have to hang on to them for a little bit until I can get photos done and launch the pattern. But they are coming, Matt, if you are watching, they are finished, and they will be coming. Oh, I like that. You can see the ridges. They will be coming your way, Matt. So there we go. So that is finished item number 2. Finished item number 3 is a crochet project that has been on the go a while. It's not the Battenberg. I haven't touched the Battenberg blanket in quite a while. You'll see when you see the number of whips I've started, that will make sense. But I have, I've just spotted an end. One end. I've probably got the other corner as well somewhere. I have finished my not so granny wrap. Is that the dog next door, or is it my dog? It's the dog next door. We're okay. He's still asleep. He's in his crate. Mine had a crazy play on the beach, so he should sleep well for me. I'm slowly opening it up here. That's it, still double. And here we go. The full reveal with the ends. I'm going to hold it this way. So I've got one a corner end here, but all the other ends are sewn in. You can still see me through it. It is just deliciously light and airy. I really, really like it. I've been trying it on a couple of ways. Always caught in my buttons. Like I've got all these little tiny buttons. Not quite sure how I'd wear this one. Probably more... I got it completely tangled in the buttons there. Let's start again. You could, of course, just have it over the shoulders, like that. That's quite nice. You've got the same colour going right across. You could swish one end over there. Yeah. Happy with this one. This is the Not So Granny Wrap by Joanne Scrace, formerly of the Crochet Project. And the book is in the Crochet Project's shawl book. I think it's book 5, could be book 4. It's one of the shawl books anyway, by the Crochet Project. And it's the Not So Granny Wrap, and it uses lace weight yarn, which is why I began this February 2023. It's taken me an age. Each of these rows, see from like fingers to fingers, it's worked across the way, took me 20 minutes. So yeah, I discovered, I'd almost finished it one day, and then I discovered a mistake rows back, and basically the mistake was it made the top of these stripes misaligned. So say the top would end up over here, so one that went onto there, and then this bit here was really short, and I looked at it and I thought, how on earth have I done that? Obviously I didn't do it when I switched to a colour, that would have been more obvious. It was in kind of, I think it was in the middle of this, or it might be in the other end, the last, or the second last bulky stripe. I ended up frogging it. It was so frustrating. I think it would have annoyed me because it would have put the ends out. It would have meant that these nice ends would have been uneven. So it was one of those times I had to make that tough call and, oh, it must be here, and frog it. Yes, you can actually, can you? Maybe not. Maybe not. It's quite hard to see. I didn't actually go all the way back to the mistake. I went back to the solid colour and kind of botched it a wee bit. I just couldn't bear to frog hours of work. So I did the best I could, and sorted so it would be less noticeable. And unfortunately I can hear my puppy and he is crying now. So clearly the run around on the beach was not quite enough for him. Or he's maybe just woken up because he is all wet and sandy. I have dried him down. He's maybe just feeling a little bit uncomfy. And it isn't that warm. You see, I've still got a cardigan on, got a t-shirt on, I have my new Lucy and Yak playsuit on, which I love, by the way. And yeah, it's pretty chilly today. It's not raining, and it's not sunny either. It's just kind of grey. I'm not hearing any more crying. You might be okay. I will keep my ear out. I've got the door open. I will keep my ear out, but I may have to abandon and come back to this either later on today or tomorrow. I've got a different tea today. It is a Twinings Digest one. I think it has spearmint. It's a rooibos base. Spearmint. Can't remember what else is in it. It's quite a nice one though. I just fancied something that was not a milky one today. So those are my 3 finished things that I am super duper happy with. Still progress on the Battenberg. I will come back to that. I really would like to finish that in 2024, and I think, oops, just dropped a ball of wool. I think I am on track to do that. I'm going to start the other things, my whips, in the order that I started them in. So here's one that I have not shown you at all. I think I'll show you the pattern. I'm going to show you the pattern first, and then I will show you my version. It's a pattern which I got on Ravelry. Some of you may recognise it. It's the little Busta yoke by the Shetland trader, who is Gudrun Johnson. I just love this. Look at that yoke. Woo. I do like a yoky sweater. So I am knitting. I am not crocheting. I know my friend Claudia, who's Sunbird Crochet in Germany, would probably have a go at crocheting her version of that, but I am knitting it. And here we go. It is on a circular needle, which is a fairly tight one. I probably couldn't go much smaller without losing stitches off the end of the needles. So I can't quite show it in all its glory. You see, I have my age-old problem with the yoke, not the yoke, the ribbing being a little bit loose. Do you know what I did with my my sea glass sweater? It had that problem. I actually took, following advice from Mariette de Boerfrau, I actually took a few lines of thin elastic and put them round, and I think I'm going to do the exact same here, because like Mariette said, you don't feel them and it just cinches that in a little bit. See, especially on, for some reason here, it's kind of, maybe it's the way it's been sitting in the bag. Anyway, I do want that in a little bit tighter. But can we see the colour work? Yes, we can. Let's see, where's the best bit? I think the front is actually the best bit to show you, because it's the loosest on the needles. Now the pattern calls for 4 colours. I have gone for 6 because I'm greedy. My main colour is yellow. Now this yellow I have on a cone. I probably haven't weighed the cone, but I imagine it's a 500-gram cone. So I have plenty of that. It was given to me by my lovely friend Sue at Craft Group. I have this. It's all Shetland wool, by the way. Shetland sort of they call it jumper weight, 2-ply, which works out as the thickness of 4-ply, if that makes sense. So I have this one, which I got in a charity shop. It's a tealy colour with flecks of yellow through it. It's lovely. I have this kind of oatmeal colour that has hints of pinky purple. I have this heathery colour. I think it's coming up a bit greyish. It is warm. It has sort of coppery bits and purpley bits in it. All my small balls are Jameson's. And I have this one, which has lost its label. It's a lovely ochre colour, one of my favourite colours. And I think there's one more. Yes, there is. There's one more. This was on a cone as well, a smaller cone, maybe a 250-gram cone that I got in a charity shop. So all in all, yarn-wise, I just had to buy, I could have just bought one, but I was being greedy and I wanted more colours in my yoke. So I bought these 3. I got them all in the Woolly Brew in Pittenweem when I was through visiting my sister one day. And we're almost at the sleeve split. I actually need to pop it on a bigger needle. I can go with size, I have a bigger one which is a size down. I will just thread it on that for the purpose of trying it on, seeing where I'm at, because I think my tension is more or less spot on, and I just need to check that it's where I want it to be for the sleeve split. So yeah, really happy with this. It's gorgeous. I added in, the other thing I did, because I was greedy with the colours, I've added in these 2 little dots at the end, just because I felt it needed it. The pattern called for it to end, the dark bit at the bottom would have been the same as your main colour, and because I'd been following the chart, I hadn't realised that so much, because I was just kind of making up the colours as I went along, and all of a sudden I had that dark stop which I wasn't that keen on, so I added the double green bit at the bottom. I also felt it needed a bit more green just near the bottom. So that's what I did. I have the feeling the rest of it is just plain yellow, but I have the feeling that around the cuff I'm just going to pick up maybe just a little sort of zigzag or sort of candy cane round past the ribbing. So I'll do the ribbing, or it finishes with a ribbing because it's top down. So just before I get to the ribbing, I think I'll have a little touch of colour, picking up a bit of the yoke. Yeah. So this is all sitting in a crochet project bag. The Jane. Oh, how's it? It's on the side. Janie Crow. My Janie Crow Persian tiles bag. So yeah, really, really happy with that. But that project has been abandoned lately because I have got a lot of knitting content at the minute. I started the Colour Opportunity Socks by Stephen West, West Knits. I bought the pattern on Ravelry. The pattern is available on the website as well, so if you're not a Ravelry user, you can grab it there. This is a surprise sock along for those of you who don't know it, and if you are joining and you don't yet know what it looks like, you might want to just skip because I'm going to show off mine. I went with my mum and my mum's friend Fiona, and we got together and ordered from Stephen and Penelope in Amsterdam. So I ordered the kit by Twisted Ambitions Yarn. Ambitions Yarn, yeah, that's right. A US based yarn dyer. I thought I would just go for, there are various kits including from the Walk range, or you could go with Schoppel Zauberball, one of the crazy ones. That is the kind of the budget one. You can just use 2 of those. Otherwise you need 4 skeins, a main skein and 3 mini skeins. So I ordered the kit. They're all from Twisted Ambitions yarns. And I have this shocking bright pink. It's showing up maybe slightly more warm than in real life. It is a beautiful in-your-face pink. Love it. There is a almost pastel-y pink. Both of those are pretty much solid, I would say. The odd variation in them, but they are both pretty solid. And then there are 2 variegated ones. So let me dig in my bag. These are gorgeous. This one in particular I love. It's pinky, orangey, speckles of a dark purpley blue, bits of yellow, paler pink. And this one is a bit more muted with coppery colours, bits of yellow, dusty pink, orange. Really, really like it. And do you want to see my progress so far? This is the bit where you might want to look away if you are intending to join in and you haven't reached yet. Sorry, I realised I was flashing it about as I was warning you. However, I did warn you a minute ago. Here is what we have so far. A sock? Is it a sock? Is it a scarf? Stephen did say that it was going to be a really interesting construction, and he is not wrong. So this will actually go round your ankle. If I pretend that my wrist is my ankle for a moment. How cool is that? Wow. These buttons, I am not going to wear this again for a podcast. I am really, really enjoying this. So many techniques I haven't done before. I have never done a provisional cast on. There were 2 methods. You could do a long tail cast on or a crochet cast on. I chose the crochet one, of course. So I have a crochet cast on. That I found easy. I have actually done a crochet cast on. I didn't realise that is what it was, although when I've done it, it hasn't been provisional. It's actually stayed in the work. I have used a crochet cast on quite a few times, so I felt comfortable doing that. It was funny because Stephen said that he didn't feel comfortable doing it. He preferred the long tail cast on. I didn't even try that. I just thought, oh, crochet hook. Yes, this sounds more familiar to me. So doing these little waves, I've never done anything like that before. I have never done big droppy eyelets like this before. I have certainly never done these welts. Can you see? If I show you that way, look. There are two of them. This one's just started, so it's not showing up too well. But look at, I mean, the texture in these is going to be incredible. I am so chuffed with it. I did make a boo-boo. I'd finished this, so I was up just before the pink, and I stopped and paused. I'd done it all in, well, I'd done from here, I'd done that section in one sitting. And I stopped and I looked at it, and my circles went da 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 da, and then one here went out, and then da 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 da. It was just over a bit, and then on the other side it was over a bit too. And I looked at it and I thought, I could leave it, I could frog it, I could leave it, I could frog it. I decided to frog because I reckoned I could do it without having to go all the way back to the start, and I managed it. I just got a second needle and very carefully I had to go back to here. I couldn't work out how to pick up these garter stitch ones because there's increases and decreases. So I went back to this smooth bit, just before, and I managed to painstakingly thread my needle all the way through and redo that bit. And I'm glad I did, actually. I think it would have bugged me. These are for me, so I mean, you could argue it's going to be on your leg. Will anyone see it? I think frogging just depends, doesn't it? It's whether it bothers you enough that you want to sort it, and it's whether anyone else will notice. Those are just the two questions that you got to ask. And if it's yes to either of them, then frog. Otherwise, just leave it. If it really doesn't matter to you, it depends on how big a thing it is, doesn't it? It depends on where it is, it depends on what you're making, I suppose, as well. If it's going to bug you, frog it. And it was going to bug me. I think every time I looked at them, I went, oh, I think I would have gone, So I frogged, and it didn't take me long to catch up, and I'm happy. So yeah, a little bit more to do. There is another one of these welts in my third colour, and then some more of this. And then another technique which I've never done before is a 2-colour knitted I-cord bind off. I have done an I-cord bind off. I remember doing that, but a long time ago, maybe even 10 years ago, I did an I-cord bind off on a little baby hat. It looked really, really cute. It had I-cord bind off around here, and it also had, I think it started with an I-cord at the top, like a little acorn or something. It was a cute little hat pattern. And I do know there was the I-cord bind off, but 2-colour I-cord bind off. We're testing the knitting techniques and pushing myself there, which is great. And there are videos. There's a 1 hour long video masterclass, so it's really, really good value, I suppose, for what you're getting. The pattern was €7, which was about £6.70-ish in UK money. And for all these new techniques that you're getting on videos, because it's private video, like the videos which I include with most of my own patterns, the videos are only there for those who've bought the pattern. So if you haven't joined in yet, I would definitely recommend the Colour Opportunity socks. Clues come out once a week. Oh, I didn't show you the bag. So it came with this bag, Sock Knitter for Life, and 2 stickers as well. I wonder if I can find them without making too much noise. Down the bottom of the bag, are they? Or have I taken them out? No, I think I've taken them out. There were 2 stickers as well. I think I've taken them out. So, there's another whip. Okay, the last 2 whips are crochet. Now, actually I finished a 3rd or 4th. I finished a 4th thing in between the last podcast and this podcast. I made a sample of my Perth beanie for Eva Christie at the festival, at the Scottish Yarn Festival. She has her own brand of yarn that goes with her whole business, her festival business. And I crocheted up a sample for her to take to Yarningham, which is happening this weekend in the UK. Looks like an amazing festival. One I would love to go to, one of the UK ones I would really like to go to one year. Maybe next year, we'll see. Anyway, Eva sent me some yarn, firstly to make her a sample. So that is the Perth beanie. I'll pop a little picture up. And she's going to take that with her to the festival, and there are also copies of the pattern. The pattern is free, so if you like the design, the pattern is free on my blog, and I produced a paper copy of it as well, and those are going with Eva to Yarningham on a first come first served basis, to anyone who buys a skein of their Clan DK yarn. So that's a DK yarn. It's 80% Shetland, 20% Cheviot, and it's from sheep which have been sheared in Scotland. It's been spun, I think, in Yorkshire and dyed there as well, and then Eva then has the yarn, and the colours are just beautiful. I was really impressed. I saw them for the first time last September at the Scottish Yarn Festival, which is where Eva launched it, and I purchased a skein for the Perth beanie and designed that pretty quickly. So when Eva sent me that skein, as a thank you, she sent me another skein, and I said, just lucky dip, just pop one in. And the colour that came is probably my favourite. It's the ball that I dropped on the floor a minute ago, so give me a moment. Here we go. This colour, which is coming up slightly more greenish than real life. It's a lovely, it's not quite mustard. It's looking mustard, I think, on the screen there. It's slightly duller, a bit more browny. So I'm designing a second hat, and it's going to be a cousin to the Perth beanie. And I think I'm going to call it the Tay beanie, because the River Tay comes through Perth, and I'm actually on the estuary where the Tay comes out. So yeah, it kind of combines Perth and where I live. And so far I have this, which has, I'll try it on for you, and you'll see it's worked out a tiny bit, even though I've used the same sizing as my Perth beanie, because I'm doing this star stitch texture. It's a little bit too big, so I'm going to have to take out a couple of the repeats. But can you see? You see the star stitch pattern? I love it. Really love that. It's a stitch combo that I've only used in one of my designs, and that is the sea urchin bag, which you can find on Ravelry, cotton bag that I designed way back, I think 2018, so quite a long time ago. And I used that pattern for that, and I'm using it in this hat. It's going to finish with a front stitch, front post, back post rib. So it starts the same as the Perth beanie, and it's going to end the same as the Perth beanie. So that's why I'm kind of calling it the cousin of the Perth beanie. And I'm going to take my time with that one, give testers plenty time, and I'm going to launch the pattern at the Scottish Yarn Festival in September, which we're in July, so I don't have too much time, but I don't need to rush it either, which is quite nice. So I'm going to launch that pattern for the festival in September. Tickets are now live for the festival. They went out just the other day, so if you want to go to that this year, it is on Saturday, it's around about the 7th of September, around about then. Obviously, if you go to their website, which I'll have linked below, you'll find out for sure. It's early on in September. That I do remember. So I popped it down, but yes, really chuffed with this. It just worked out the way I wanted it to, I like, it's going to be another free pattern. I like how it starts and it's going to end the same as the Perth beanie, which is why I'm calling them cousins. Slightly disappointed I'm not going to be able to keep the same sizing. So for example, if you've made a Perth beanie in the medium, I would have liked it if the stitch counts had been exactly the same. It would have kept things simpler. Just for anyone making both hats, I suppose it doesn't really matter too much, but I am going to have to put less increases in this one because yeah, it's just flared out a bit. So I'm going to have to change the sizing. This will probably be the large one, whereas I had gone for the second largest size. But you know, that's the little thing. I'm just going to grab another mouthful of tea before I talk about, I've got one last whip and I have a little bit of incoming. So my other whip, something I started on a whim, and I'm using yarn from my mum's stash. It's a peachy colour. It is pure wool. Yep, it's definitely pure wool. I wouldn't say it was Shetland. I don't know what it is. It feels smooth, but it's not alpaca. It could be blue-faced Leicester, but I don't think there's enough of a sheen in it. I don't know what it is. It was in a skein. There was no label. It is 4-ply. That I do know. So I am making, and I forgot to bring the book, but I will try and link. Let's just pop a picture up for the Ravelry. I am making the lobster from Pika Pow. Book 2. Pika Pow. Is it Pika Pow and Friends? I can't remember what the book's called. I know there are 3 books and it's definitely in book 2. I forgot to bring the book with me. I've made a few of the little bits. I have the almost completed claw. I have the 4, I've tied them in a bundle. The 4 little tail pieces. These go on. Oh, I'm all tangled. I have got them all together just so I don't lose which is which. They go on at the end. Let's have them the right way around. At the end here. Yeah, isn't he cute? The only thing I just went for colours that went together. He was designed in blue and white, which I guess gave him a sort of Breton, French seaside look. I've gone for green, which I guess looks more forestry, looks a bit more sluggy. I think I'm going to make him a waistcoat and that'll change things up. I'm going to do a waistcoat for him. Other designs in the book have waistcoats, so it shouldn't be too hard. So I've got the other claw to do. He's got 4 little feet that come out here. I've got a few ends here and there. This construction of this is absolutely incredible. I've just got ends everywhere, sorry. I am blown away by the way that this is constructed. Absolutely. All one piece. There's no sewing in this. Yeah. Wow. I'm really, really impressed with the design. As I've made quite a few of the Pika Pow designs, and I tend to just do it. I keep all my ends. This is stuffed with ends, like this length, maybe a bit bigger, maybe some are a bit smaller. All the ends from my projects, I stuff them in a jar, and when I have enough, I make an amigurumi. It takes way more than you think. I'm just thinking I have a bag full. It'll take probably about 2 of these little bags full for an amigurumi, depending on the stuffing and whether it's legs and arms and a head and all that. It takes a lot. You just keep stuffing it in and it just seems to keep disappearing. So I'm enjoying that one. I'm picking that up just here and there, and I've only got the other claw to do and the little feety things, and then sew those in, and I will make him a waistcoat. I think he would look sweet in a waistcoat. And I'm using my favourite crochet hook, which is a 2.25mm Clover Soft Touch. This is the hook which I have in my kit, which I didn't show actually. Yeah, if you buy the kit, it does come with a crochet hook. I forgot to show that. And it's the hook I chose in a bigger size for that. And I also wrote a blog post about why this is my favourite hook. So if you want to check that out, I shall try and link to my blog. Try and remember and do that. I have an ad-free blog. If you want to check that out, it's full of lots of little crochet bits and pieces. And yeah, have I reached the end of all the things I want to say? I have the incoming, it's just sitting over here. I like to keep my eye, if I see that someone is having a de-stash, I do like to keep my eye on it, and occasionally I treat myself to some yarn in that, and I was fortunate to grab this skein, which is from For the Love of Yarn, a Glasgow-based dyer. I have bought from their website quite a few times actually, so I knew this would be lovely. The colourway I think is just red, yeah. It is merino, nylon, it's your usual 75-25 mix, 400 metres, and I think I got it for about £8, and RRP is probably about 20 these days, so I was chuffed with that. And in the package were a couple of knitting needle stoppers. How cute are they? Little peacocks. And if you don't know how they work, have I got some needles to hand? Yes, I do. You can just pop them. These ones are too small. But you can just pop them over your needles, and then your needles do not jab through your bag, and it also stops any stitches from falling off. Obviously these ones are too small. The socks that I am knitting, I'm doing on 2.25mm Leica driftwood needles. So there, we've tested. Too big for that. It would probably work on my jumper though. And I don't have any on that. I don't know why I didn't grab the jumper, it made much more sense. Where are your needles? I've lost the tips. They're tucked up in the project. Here we go. This will show off much better, I think. Yeah. There. That will protect anyone from getting jabbed, stop the stitches falling off, and protect the inside of my project bag as well. And I think that is all. I think the de-stash was from an account called Jules De-stash. I think it was Two Sisters, and I can't remember what their original Instagram names were. But yeah, it came nice and quickly. They were easy to deal with, is so the word I was looking for. But yeah, it was all smooth transaction and it came very quickly. Happy, happy, happy. So I've been rambling for quite a while. I see that's over 40 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed your time with me this afternoon. I'm going to grab another quick sip. Of course it might not be afternoon wherever you are. I am beginning to ramble, haven't I? I think I shall wind up. I shall do what I usually do and ask if you're still with me. Can you comment and say what you're working on while you're watching? I love reading those, and I shall catch you again soon, hopefully in another 2 weeks. I do 2 weeks is a good time for me in between podcasts. I like 2 weeks, so hopefully this is me getting back into it, and thank you for spending time with me today. Not this afternoon, today. Alright, love to you all. See you soon. Bye.